This is the plaintiff, Bobby Valentine. He says he's known the plaintiff for 13 years. They dated for 8, then took some time off. Turns out the defendant was sleeping with his ex-girlfriend's stepfather while they were living together, so he moved out. The defendant ended up barring him from the house they once shared, prevented him from getting his belongings, and is now trying to keep them and use them with her new husband. What a mess! Bottom line, he's suing for $4,880.70, the value of his stolen stuff. This is the defendant, Lynette Montford. She says the relationship ended because the plaintiff was an abusive, controlling monster, and she ended things once and for all. As far as his stuff goes, he took it all, and she has none of it in her house. The guy's still sore they aren't together anymore. And this lawsuit? Just another lame attempt to see her and harass her. She's accused of stealing an ex's treasured possessions.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case in the docket. The plaintiff dated the defendant off and on until he found out that she was sleeping with his ex-girlfriend's stepfather. He broke up with her and she vengefully kept his stuff. Now she claims he's a monster who abused her. It's the case of stealing from an ex.
Okay, Bobby Valentine, you are suing your former girlfriend, Lynette Montford, for various items that you say she kept after the two of you split up and you moved out. Talk to me. Tell me what happened.
Morning, Your Honor. I've known Ms. Roldan for about 14 years
Ms.
now.
Who?
Ms. Roldan, Montford, excuse me.
Okay.
Me and Ms. Roldan, for the first 8 years of our relationship, we were together. Everything was fine. Around the 8th year, we had a problem. We broke up. Maybe 5 years after that, we got back together. I'd help her out and move in because where I was at, it was not a situation I wanted to be in anymore.
Okay.
So I moved in with her.
Did you have another girlfriend you were living with at that point?
I ended the relationship I was with at that time.
Oh, okay. Some people might have done it the reverse order, but okay.
Well, we weren't.
That's it. Just go on.
No.
So you two got back together.
Yes.
Okay.
So we ended up getting back together. Maybe January of that year, Mr. Montford was coming by. And, I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, who was that? She's like, oh, it's just, I forget the
Did she leave you
name.
for him? Is that where we're going?
Yes.
Okay, let's get there.
Yes.
So she left you for him.
Yes.
And then?
Well.
What's your lawsuit about?
My lawsuit is for basically the refrigerator I purchased, which was 14 and some change.
Yeah, but tell me about the breakup. Like, how come you didn't take things with you? Did you take anything with you? How did this happen?
What happened was we had had an argument. I had left, went to a friend's house, came back home. When I came back home, a couple days later, was somebody knocking at the door. Okay. It was the Hartford Police Department.
It was the what?
The Hartford Police Department.
Police Department.
To arrest me.
To arrest you?
Yes.
Okay, for what?
Domestic violence. Ms. Roldan, the week before, had put a case out on me.
Okay.
They came to arrest me. They seen me at the house.
So what was the deal? I love him, I want him back? Or
I never said that.
Why'd you let him back in if he had hit you?
We had a fight and he hit me. So I called the cops. He left, took my dog, did a whole bunch of stuff, and they were looking for him. I was at the store.
Yeah, but what was he doing in your house?
He wasn't supposed to be there.
Oh, so according to you, you never asked him back.
No.
So according to you, he came back.
Right. And they caught him outside. And then he called me and he's like, you better bail me out. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to bail you out because you shouldn't hit me. That's why we broke up the first time after 7, almost 8 years.
Was that, okay, when you broke up the first time after 7, almost 8 years, that was the first time he had been violent?
Yes.
What did he do?
He beat me and held me in my room, didn't let me go to work, things like that. He's controlling.
Why would there be a second time after something like that? That's crazy.
Because he was my first and I loved him. And then after that, I just didn't feel the same. So I just told him I didn't want to be with him. I moved on. Like, I want to be with someone else. I hadn't been seeing him yet. I've known him for 9 years.
Okay, let me just say one thing. I don't really care who's stepping out on who, because I find it priceless that he's stepping out on his ex-girlfriend with you, but he's all kinds of insulted that you're stepping out on him with your new boyfriend who's become your husband. I find this like rich. I am sure if your ex-girlfriend is within the sound of my voice, she is right now chest bumping whoever's around her. Okay? You know, okay. Oh, it's very insulting when it happens to you, but it's not insulting when you do it to someone else. Okay, I got it. All right, I don't want to hear any more waste of my time talking about who was working with who at what time they were working with whatever.
Okay.
What I want to know is about the lawsuit. You were here suing for what? A fish tank, a refrigerator, a Keurig coffee maker. I'm a big Keurig fan. Component player. What's a component player?
It's a radio.
Okay. 2 TVs, a $400 loan, a computer, a PS3, and your clothes and shoes. All right. Because why didn't you take all your stuff with you when you left?
Because I was arrested, so I had time to come back. By law, I was able to come back. When I did come back, Miss Roldan wouldn't let me in the house.
Yeah, but then you just call the police and you have a police escort go in there, and then you take your stuff.
I couldn't go back there without a police escort.
Sure.
That's what I did.
So go back with a police escort. Did you do
that's
that?
what I did.
And then what? Why didn't you take everything?
They told me that it was a civil matter. She wouldn't let me come in the house.
because she was laying claim to certain things, but they never say that about your clothes. I mean, was your clothes there? And you're saying, look at the
she kicked a bag of clothes out and then some sneakers, but she'd give me like all the left foot sneaker, the other right foot wasn't there. My clothes were cut up.
Did you
know
do
what
that?
I mean?
No, absolutely not. He took everything.
Okay.
He took the TV, one TV. He took all his clothes. He had some mail and some shoes and a little small items at the house. I went and took everything to his mother's house.
Okay, so he took one TV or both TVs?
One, but I brought the rest to his mom's house.
You brought the other TV to
Yes.
his mom's house. What do you think is going on? You think
I mean,
you moved along, I think, rather swiftly for his taste.
Well, that's
You
not
guys
my
got
business.
married how fast?
Within a year.
Within a year, he calls it, and all the nasty emails and Facebook posts that he sends to you within 6 months. Would that be more accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. And he apparently didn't take it well.
Well, when I came to him and I honestly told him I didn't want to be with him, he asked me, he said, okay, fine, just let me stay here and get on my feet. He lived with me for 3 months, didn't pay any bills, didn't do anything.
Is that true?
No, definitely not.
What bills did you pay?
I paid whatever.
Did you pay rent?
Yes.
You
The thing is,
say
Your
you
Honor,
didn't?
she didn't give me, there's not like a counterclaim against me, so I was going to bring those checks in because I knew that's what she was going to say, but there was no counterclaim against me.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter there's no counterclaim. She could use it as a set-off. That's a concept in the law where she says, I don't know him, he doesn't owe me money, but I don't owe him money either, and here's why. So you have checks and you didn't bring them?
Not, because like I said, there wasn't any counterclaim. If there was a counterclaim
Right.
for no payment of rent,
Convince
then I
me
would've
that you're not
definitely-
just bitter. Convince me that you're not just bitter in light of the following texts and emails, because this is what concerns me.
Okay.
Here's a text. I want to say thanks for bringing my clothes to my mother. Be looking in the mail for a check for the dog food.
He never gave me that.
That would be kind of odd too, though. If she owes you 2 TVs and a computer, why you would be sending her a check for dog food?
Right.
because-
I have met the most wonderful woman who I think the world of, but she doesn't like the fact that you continue to text me. We both asked for you to stop, and you answered, LOL, oh, don't worry about it. I have nothing to say to you, so everyone can be comfortable. Have a great life. And then he keeps texting you over and over.
Right,
Thank
but
you
she's
for
uncomfortable.
your understanding. It's like the past, I had girlfriends who wanted me to have not contact, but I knew they weren't the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with or be a family with. But this young lady that God gave me the opportunity to be with is the one I want to grow old with and raise a family with. No disrespect, because you're a good girl, but unfortunately, you're not the one for me. You have a great life too, and I hope God guides you through this bad time you're going to go through. We will both pray for you. God bless.
He's very mean in those messages.
You are fat and ugly, and my girl obviously is not. So good
He's
luck,
very
you
disrespectful.
fat blank, and hope that slang N-word teaches you how to have sexual intercourse. Or at least teach you how to have sexual intercourse better than Michelle. Who's Michelle?
My sister that he slept with.
Fix your body, or at least try. What's wrong with you? What are you, 5 years old?
What I like to also add that the reason why Mr. Montford and Miss Montford were able
Wow,
to cheat on each other.
there's like 50 texts from you that are unresponded to.
Because he don't get it.
Would that be trying to recoup my property?
No, there would be things like this a year later. You're a habitual liar. That's why this is happening. You have nothing but yourself and hubby to thank. PSS, I heard through the grapevine you're selling your dishes on Facebook. How sad far you let yourself go. I just want to tell you you're going to be selling more than dishes when I get done with you. Let me ask you a question. I get the impression that this is a very angry breakup, and that you felt very hurt. And then a year later, when she's finally stopped responding to your texts, you finally go to court for something you say you did not abandon, even though there's zero evidence of you asking for it beforehand in any text, and there were hundreds of texts. What am I supposed to do with that as a judge?
Your Honor, you have to understand, when I moved out of there, I was homeless. I'm just getting on my feet right now. All right, I'm still paying on property
the abandonment laws still apply to you.
But I went there a month after I had gotten arrested. I went there with the police. They told me it was a civil case. So now at this point, I'm still paying for this stuff.
Well, did he ever ask for the fish tank and the?
No, he came and asked for personal property. And when the police came with him and the U-Haul, I told them the only thing personal he has here is his dog, and he refused to take the dog.
So you had to take care of the dog?
I took care of the dog for maybe what? We've been married, 6 months? Till about 6 months ago.
Yep.
And where'd the dog go?
Well, the dog had a fight with my dog, so I took it to his old place.
To his old place?
Yeah, where his daughter was staying, and someone saw him break in there and take the dog.
So, if you had a boyfriend who hit you once, would you ever give him a second chance?
No, never. I would never do that because this is the last thing you can do. You can never hit anybody, doesn't matter what you're doing.
He says it will never happen again.
No, once an abuser, always an abuser.
And what do you say?
I agree. If they do it once, they're going to do it again.
Okay, going inside the courtroom.
So he has a dog now?
I don't know. He sent me a Facebook message saying that I had the dog killed, but nobody knew the dog was missing.
We didn't harm the dog, Your Honor.
Nobody. I have paperwork saying that.
Who has a dog? Do you have your dog?
No, I definitely don't have my dog.
Why did you leave your dog behind?
I tried to take him. She wouldn't let me take anything. She said they said it was a civil matter. What am I going to do? Take a dog out of there?
The officer told him if the only thing you have that's personal here besides the refrigerator and fish tank, because I brought it up. I brought up the fish tank and the refrigerator. I said he can have his dog. He can have it.
I find it interesting that Mr. Montford was involved in the situation a month after I got arrested. This proves that she was cheating on me before I got arrested.
He was involved before that. Just to let you know. He was involved before a month before you got arrested.
Exactly.
But that doesn't mean I was cheating on you.
No, I don't care. See, that's where the problem lies. You keep bringing that up like that means that she owes you money.
That's why I was arrested.
No.
She had no way for me to leave the house. She knew I wasn't leaving without my things. That's why I was arrested.
How come you don't say one word of that in all the months of text?
What am I going to be nice to her about? Her taking my belongings and making me homeless? I can't be nice about that situation.
About it, and there's an actual thank you for bringing your stuff to her mother's house.
And saying that
she brought my wallet.
Did you pay half and half for the TVs, or did he pay fully for the TVs?
I paid for half for one TV, but I didn't need it because I had a TV. I had TVs before he moved in.
Okay. In every couple's relationship, there is a flow of money back and forth. Mm-hmm. And it's there because you think that you're never going to break up and there's never going to be a problem. So you go out and you buy things together. And then you come to a judge and you expect us to separate the pots and pans of your life. And it's kind of difficult. And, how do I turn around a year and a half later when it's so obvious that you are really hurt and that's a lot of your motivation, and say, oh, by the way, you owe him money for some other stuff, and then not deduct from it the months of rent that you didn't bother to bring proof of, or that she let you coast.
Right.
I mean, you just can't carry your burden of proof. My verdict in this case is for the defendant.
Thank you.
And so let's find out what the plaintiff thought when you heard the gavel come down, verdict for the defendant.
Oh, the judge was wrong. I mean, I have proof for everything. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like she said, I waited a year. I was homeless. I tried to get the money together. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what happened.
It sounds like to a lot of people watching this case that you just, can't let go of her.
I've already moved on. Miss Montford has to be married. I don't. I'm good with all that.
All right. Okay. Good luck. All right. Head right down here. All right, so you win this case. What do you think his motivation was for the whole thing?
Jealousy, and to see if he can get anything out of me because he's mad. But I forgive him.
What do you make of all this?
Well, I'm just glad that it's over. No more harassments and no more dirty language.
You think you've heard and seen the last of him?
No. Sadly, no.
Harvey?
If you're in a relationship, you should, a lot of times you can't figure out who owns the pots and pans, and the judge is going to have to say, you guys work it out. But if it's a big ticket item like a car or something like that, send an email to each other saying, by the way, just to make it clear, that's my car. I know it's awkward, but it's better that you do it. That will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.